Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Simply Spooky Show with Viv and Dan, but without Dan. He's off gallivanting tonight with family, so you've got me. But I am so pleased to be introducing tonight Jay and Paul of the West Midlands Paranormal Collective. Is that right? Did I get it right?
You did, yeah.
I feel like I'm cheating, really, because I know Paul from years. Me and Paul go back a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like having a catch up with some old mates. So, Jay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I've come across as too familiar, but I feel like I know you already. So, so how are you both?
Yeah, we're doing really well, thank you.
Yeah, doing extremely well. Getting very busy.
Getting very busy. That's good.
Yeah, which is always a good thing. What about yourself?
I'm just knackered all the time. It's my age. It's an age thing, really. You know, I'm a lady of a certain age. Has to take tablets to calm down. You know, I'm one of them. So, can you just let's start with Paul. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who you are? Where you do.
Well, as you know, I've been on the paranormal field for a long time on this journey. Met a lot of decent folks over the years who I consider as family.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, when I go out, I always sort of treat it like a new investigation, even though I've been there before. Yeah, it's just a passion that I really enjoy doing.
Big shout out to Wild Bill, who's watching from Atlanta.
Hello there.
Hello.
And to William as well. Yeah. Oh, we love
Hello,
Wild
William.
Bill. Hello. Jay, what about yourself? I mean, how long have you been doing it?
Well, I'm relatively new compared to Paul's extravagant list of investigations he's done and years he's been in there. I'm about 3 years in. Yeah. I'm enjoying myself. I like to find the investigations and join in on the investigations, meeting the new people, and I like the side of finding the common problem. So it's when you go to you find a bit of evidence, try to debunk it, and if I can't debunk it, then I take that as evidence and put it into public domain. So I like that part of it, and also the research and the history before we go, which is you find quite interesting because then you can put two and two together.
I've got Terry Two Willies says hi. That's his nickname.
Hi, Terry.
Hello.
And Nettie's in the house as well. She shouts out hello to you.
Hello, Nettie.
Hello.
Rita, hi, Viv, Jay and Paul. That's not Jay. That's a better looking version of Jay.
Hi, Rita.
More sophisticated.
That's it.
Oh, no, I'm getting mixed up with our Jay.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, we've got a Jay.
It's the beard. I'm trying to look like a different person. It's right.
Well, you know what? You could give our Jay a run for his money. You know, I'll have to take some pictures and send them over to him. I tell you. I'm new in a paranormal field. Do you know what? He's trying to pull your leg there. You know, I'll just tell him, "Oi, Bill, pull the other one," is what we say over here. Pull the other one, mate. Pull the other one. Right. So, I want to know some of your best investigations so far. Some of your best investigations so far, and what you liked about them, and what evidence. I mean, it doesn't even need to be that you got anything. Just your best investigation that you really enjoyed, and why did you like it so far? Go on, go.
Are you going to go first? I think my investigation so far, the best one anyway, from my own personal experiences, was when we went to Don Styler's gym.
Yeah.
Was there. The place is eerie in its own right. It's got a dark and steep past being a smallpox hospital. Did a lot of research leading up to it, and I thought, well, maybe it's one of those places that are going to be hyped, and you get there and it's not going to be what it says it was on the tin, and it more than just blew us out. I actually got a picture of a full-blown apparition standing behind a tree.
Brilliant.
And the tree must have been at least 10 foot off the floor. There was just a drop behind it. There was no, and that was that was quite interesting. That was one of the better ones, and ones that definitely sticks into my head. And I definitely am going back this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about yourself, Paul?
Well, I've got too many to really say.
Your
You know
best,
what I mean?
your best ones are the ones you did with me, eh, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
There's been some funny ones, and there's been some ones where they've been really mind blowing. Where I just can't get the answers to what, why, and what. You know what I mean? I mean, we was at Don Styles, and I was in one room on my own, and I saw a shadow figure. So, of course, as you do, you go off to investigate. I went to the room. There was nobody there. But when I came out, there was a gentleman there. He must have been from another paid group. And he approached me and said, like, have you just seen this? And he showed me a video on his phone. I went, did you record that? And he went, yeah, but this recording's from 3 months ago. And it blew my mind because what I just saw, this guy got on his video and he took 3 months ago. And I was thinking, that's just not, you know what I mean? I just couldn't get my bearings. So what had just happened and how he showed me this video really did sort of get to me a little bit. Like, I was thinking, hold on a bit. That's just craziness. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I mean, that place, like I said, it really, in its own right, there's so much going on in so many, levels. You just can't seem to understand what's because there is literally so much, happening around you.
Yeah. No, I think they are good. I personally think the best investigations I've been on are the ones when I don't have to do anything and it's all right. I just sit and drink tea. I'm so lazy. So, okay, we've got some things in the chat. So Bill says, I was in it when it was cool, when it wasn't cool. Laugh out loud. 40 years ago now. He's been in it a long time.
That's good.
Terry says, paranormal is normal to us. Ha 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 ha.
That's the best normal, I think.
No, the best normal for me is abnormal. I think Terry will agree with that one. Don't be normal when you can be abnormal.
That's it. You can't define normal anyway. So.
Yeah.
He's a skeptic believer. Hi, Debs. Debs
Hello.
is calling from, she's in Michigan.
Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah.
She's our beautiful Debs. Miss her, While Bill says, I always go in expecting nothing. That way I'm never disappointed.
Well, it's true, there is. I mean, you when you go to certain places, you always go look sort of open-minded, but, with caution as well, like, it's like if you've been there before, you just don't think about what you did before. You treat it as a new one because things are never going to be the same, like,
That's it. Especially when you return to a location as well, because you think it's going to be the same, but it's no. Even though it's the same location, it's never the same thing that's going to happen. And because although you get spirits and apparitions and stuff, and there could be a tape playing over, no two times are the same, I think. So
do you think it's good to keep going back to the same locations, keeping your files and records to compare to?
I think there's got to be a cut-off. I think where you've got locations and it's done night after night after night after night, and you're also doing it and you're dragging the energy out. I think there's got to be a respite. So what we do, I don't know whether you do the same. We'll probably do a location twice a year and then stop, and then go again the next year. It gives it a chance to build energy if there is something there, so you're not dragging onto it.
Yeah, you find that the energy levels, depending on who you go with as well. If you get the right level of energy and enthusiasm.
It's all about the energy within the person going with as well. Because if you get like a quite up and joyful energy and everyone's having a laugh, you have a really good night. But if you get like a group that you go with and it's quite like a downward sort of attitude and everyone's like, then you find that the levels don't always come up to the point that you would normally expect a location to come to.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Like you say, you treat every group and every time you go with a different with a different mindset, so to say.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. While Bill says be Abby normal, that's me. I should change my name, shouldn't Sometimes energies even get tired and doesn't do anything that night or day. No, I totally agree with that. And I think Paul and Jay would agree the same.
I mean, I suppose it's the same as East Drive. I mean, you read about people who've been there who've had no activity at all, and they've said, like, it's boring, like, and you've had other people who've been there who've been full of activity. It's a strange place because it all, like you've said, it all depends on the individual, how positive the moods are and everything else that goes with it. I mean, we had a previous team member who came with us, but he decided to watch a film before he went and got the wrong end of the stick, like, and end up, like, thinking he was walking into some sort of
horror film.
Yeah. And we did tell him not to do it, like, because in itself, I mean, when these film products, they get their hands on the goods to these places, they always seem to hype them up 10 times more than they actually am.
Yeah.
But, it was like I said, I mean, we've been there a couple of times now, and on every occasion we've had activity because, it's been boring. But like Jay said, if you're doing it night after night after night, it does tend to drain a lot of, the energies out of the place.
Here's a question for you. Have you been on location, either one of you, and stuff's been happening right in front of you for you, but it seems to be, and this, why I've asked this question is because I know Paul had this, what was coming through and what was being shown was more personal other than the building that you were there. So the building's got its hauntings and it's, it is what it is. But what you got was more personal stuff. Has that happened that you noticed, and how did that affect you?
Well, this happened to me last year. I went on 2 locations. I mean, yourself commented that my father was trying to communicate, and I was a bit confused on that one because, like I said, he'd been deceased, for 7 years. Then when we went to Sppoky with you, we were in that old building with a thatch roof, and we got the spirit box and we were asking questions, and one of the questions was how many people are in this room, and he gave us the exact number that we was there. And then Jay asked the question, well, how many spirits are with us? And he come up with 2. And he put, if you got any questions to ask anyone, he come up with my name, Paul. And I said, well, okay, I'm Paul. What do you want to ask me? And he come up, Dad. Of course, I got a bit annoyed at that point because I was thinking, hold on a bit. If you want to contact me, don't do it when I'm on an investigation, like, you know what I mean?
Don't waste my time. I'm paying good money for this. Yeah.
When I came off that investigation, I actually went and seen a medium to try and find out exactly what was what, because, like I said, I mean, my dear pops had been deceased for 7 years. I left it where it was, really. I mean, it's just a memory. But all of a sudden, like, coming through spirit boxes and things like that, it does get personal, and you think, I'm not going to be concentrating 100% here if I've got this hanging over my head. Like, I'm saying, it really did. I wouldn't say it affected me, but it disturbed me. You know what I mean? For the night, it made me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah. It sort of gets you emotionally, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Pulls you into that direction, doesn't it? I've only ever had it once, and I don't think that much into it. I think that if someone's trying to contact you from the beyond or wherever a spirit goes, that when you're in your normal circumstances, there's not enough energy for them to react on it. So they follow you to a point where there's enough energy for them to make some kind of contact that makes sense, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and then after it's happened, then you go away and you think, well, you try to calculate things in your head, and did I really hear that? Was that really meant for me? But it doesn't really. I think it's more the relevance. When you ask the question, you get that instant reply that it's you they want to talk to, and this is who it is, and then you start asking the questions in your head of if that relevance really is for that, or is it just some spirit playing games, or is it the spirit box just making assumptions? And so I just like to make a calculated guess.
I always say, be careful, don't ignore them all the time, because like my family, if that was my family and I ignored them,
Yeah.
I'd be sitting there somewhere and a pot would come flying through the air and hit me on the head or something, you know. You will listen to me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe there's something in that, you know. So what does Terry say? Oh, Terry says go different times of year as well. It's the same location, different times of year.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. Wild Bill says, I've been asked to do an investigation this weekend and approach it as the Reverend Wild Bill doing a cleansing eviction. Oh, that would be good to watch, Bill.
Yeah.
That would be good. He's full of character, is our Wild Bill. We'd love him. But yeah. I love it when I have new people got six this Saturday night, and I find the energy is very different. So when you come out with investigate with new people,
Yeah.
it does shift the energy, doesn't it? Quite a lot, I think.
Yeah.
I think energy-wise, I think it's more, without it sounding like it's an outlandish comment, but I think non-believers are the ones that give off the energy the most.
Do you think?
Because they're out to prove that it's not. It's not real. So they give off all this positive energy of, oh, I'm going to be the right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And all that energy collects. So some of the best locations we've done, we've took non-believers or there's been a non-believer there. And it seems to boost the energy quite well.
Yeah.
Do you find it's funny when something happens to them that they can't explain? And then you say to them, do you believe now or not? And they go, and they can't answer you. They don't want to say they believe, but they do.
I'm not that. I think that when something happens, they're the first to leave. I've noticed that. If something was that like a bump or something, they're out. They've gone. They're waiting for you in the car. But yeah, I think for that sort of like validation's good.
Hang on, there's a mic connection problem. I'm just making sure it's not me. Let me move my hair. Is that better? Hang on. Does that change?
I don't know.
I can't hear it.
I don't know. I can't hear anything.
We'll carry on for now. There we go. We'll see how that goes for a while. Let me turn my microphone down a little bit, maybe. Oops. I'm not very good at this technical stuff, you see. How's that? Is that any better, guys? Hopefully it will be.
So in that respect, from our point of view, what was your best investigation? What investigation have you done if you haven't returned but want to?
I'm quite spoilt though, really. I've been and done so many things.
Yep.
And I suppose for me, the pinnacle was the Tower of London. So I've been in the pyramids. I've been all over the world. I've done all sorts of things. But for me, this is just me. You can't beat the Tower of London. And I was quite. Terry's done it as well. I've done it. There's a handful of people that have been able to get in and do it, and very, very spoiled and privileged. I'd love to go back and do that again. I really would. That would be my.
That's the pinnacle of the UK paranormal scene, isn't it? Going up there.
Do you think?
Not a lot of people get to go there, and I think with all that's going on, I think it's going to make a lot of people harder for people to go there now.
Shall I tell you a secret?
What's that?
Well, I don't know about now, but when he was Prince, Prince Charles is the owner of Tutbury Castle.
Bit of history.
Oh, it's back again. This funny noise is back again. I don't know what's doing that.
I don't know.
So, anyway, Prince Charles, when he was Prince, now he's King. I don't know if that changes, but Leslie Smith is the curator there for him. So, so you've most probably done one of his royal residences and not even known about it.
That's it. It's a good bit of knowledge.
I think what I'm going to do is just come off I've got a couple of pages open, so that might help. Okay, let's try, see if that makes. can hear talking. The spirits are trying to join in, as Terry says. Just got some interference. Oh wow, that was quite bad. Can you hear that? You can't hear that.
Yeah, a little bit. I can hear it. Yeah, I can.
Speakers.
Your mic is hating on you tonight, Viv. I don't know why. I've not done anything different than I normally do. I am going to put a lead in the back here and see if that will help it calm down a little bit. It might do. I did a computer update last night. So it could...
It's probably my kid on the Xbox one.
It shouldn't do. It sounds like someone's having a good rummage. That's what...
Yeah, it's my kid on the Xbox, about 2 foot away from me. I do apologise.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, click, mess about. Maybe
I think it's Viv's mic. I haven't got a mic.
Nah, it's my 10-year-old.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. I'll blame 10-year-old.
Oh, bless her.
You can tell.
So, I've got to ask you, Paul, because without mentioning any names, we'll keep it nice. You know, as well as I, that there's a lot of, just recently, in recent years, a few things have come to light with what I want to call deviant people in the paranormal. Now, it seems to me like they use the paranormal as a springboard either to chat women up or do other untoward things.
Yeah.
Like we know a couple of people. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, is it bringing the paranormal community down? Is it just there's a couple of idiots that spoil it for everyone, or?
Well, we know a few people ourselves, and we try to keep well away. You know, you're never gonna stop it. It's like the playground arguments. You're never gonna stop it. Unfortunately, I mean, as long as I've been doing the paranormal, things have really changed over the years, and you know, it is a shame the way it has gone, because you know, it's like I've said, it's just there's no need for it. I mean, we're adults, and we should be in an adult world where half of these folks are they're very immature, and they shouldn't be the way they are. I mean, we're all in it the same. We all want the same thing, the goal to prove, but at what price do you go? I mean, it's a shame, because, like I said, I mean, unlike yourself, I've worked with a lot of people over the years, and the amount of folks that have changed, and they ain't got the time of day for you, and you're thinking, well, hold on, I've not changed, I'm still the same person, so why? You know, what's happened to you? Why have you gone the way you have? You know, there's been a lot of doors closed on a lot of people who I assume were good friends, good paranormal, friends, but you know, you look and you think, well, I'm sorry, but you know better than yourself. You know, we're all in this to do it, the same thing, and there's just no need for it. It needs to be kicked out, because it is ruining our reputation. And you can understand when you've got things like the Americans, how far they're ahead of us. You know, you never hear anything like this. You know, over there, is it just us? Like, you know what I mean? Is it just us? You know, it really spoils it for all, because there's genuine folk out there. You know, and like I said, you get the odd individual who, you know, you're always going to get them. You're never going to stop them. But, you know, it's like I've said, it is a shame. I mean, and it's like I said, a lot of people use this as a platform for their own rights more than anything else. And, you know, I'm sorry, but it don't make you any bigger or, you know, any better than the next person. You know what I mean? We are...
Jay, do you think it's going to drive teams to sort of be more enclosed and not do anything outside of their own teams?
I think the way the what they call the para-unity is moving forward, I don't think that it's going to change. The thing I think should change is the guilty by association.
Yes.
So you get one person in a group, or that has been in a group or is investigated with a group, and they will do something to the effect of what you're saying, and then everybody within that little circle that was investigating or has investigated are guilty by association. So you're the one doing it, not them. I reckon if they do something like that, that they should be held accountable solely for their actions. I mean, it's. I'm all for working with other teams within the paranormal fields and even other fields to gain better understanding of what is within the beyond and stuff like that within like the para-unity movement. But the guilty by association needs to stop. I reckon if you've done the actions, I say, it should be solely on the person, the onus to do what they want. We're all adults. We make our own choices in life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can take an horse to water, but you can't make it drink. If they're like that in their own life, then let them be like that. But don't let the whole team suffer because of one person's actions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Here, I agree. And also, you get a lot of, I can't talk to so and so because they're friends with so and so, or I just think, grow up, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just silly. So we've got some things in the chat here. Okay. So while Bill is talking about Zach Bagans and said it's his favourite person, because he's always mentioning the demon word. Well, Lucy says, "Hey, Paul, remember investigating with you at the Galleries of Justice? Can you remember what happened in the dark cells? Big kiss."
Yes. As a child, I was asthmatic, and over the years, I got to control it. So when we went into the dark cell, I ended up struggling to breathe. Felt like something had got their hands up my throat. I stopped there as long as possible. I had to leave because I literally just couldn't breathe. And as I came out, obviously things happened, but I ended up sitting on the gallery in the courtyard on my own at like 3 o'clock in the morning, smoking a fag, thinking I could think of better places to be sitting at this time of morning, like
on the gallows.
Looking at this rope above my head, like, swinging within the wind, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I do, Luce. I remember that very well. Like, I mean, it was a really good night and a good investigation. I mean, I did miss the best parts, obviously, because of something didn't want me there. But yeah, brilliant night, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, his name was Ghirt.
Yeah.
I spelt that wrong.
Yeah.
Oh. Terry says, "I'm still waiting to be chatted up." By who?
By the random people that are naughty on investigations.
Oh, yes, like the dirty.
You don't want to
buggers.
be in that circle, mate. Honestly.
No. You know what? You can be on lives and you get people proposition. You know what? It's ridiculous. So
it's not worth it. It's not worth risking your private life for.
Yeah, no, it's silly. Warbill says, "Speaking of, is GOB still around?" Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I think they are. What bugs me is the childish accusations and mud sticks. I've been a victim of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a lot of that tarnish the stick thing within the paranormal. I found is where you get the little childish playground banter, which is probably what they're on about, which is someone will make a story about such and such is such and such an investigation.
Yeah.
Because you've reached that just slight higher level than them. But what they don't understand is there's no. Can you go over there? Can you go over there?
Oh, bless her.
She's autistic. I do apologise.
Fine.
There's no levels in the paranormal.
No.
Within the spiritual there is, but within the paranormal, we're all the same. We're all on the same level. So
yeah, I think poor Paul, bless him, it got very bad and people jumped on bandwagons and it was witch hunting and it took a very nasty turn back then, and it took a long time for him to turn a corner and to trust people. I don't think he still does. But nobody could blame him for that,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but it's like it's like people's egos are just, there's just no need for it. You know what I mean? It's like I said, there's nobody's better than anybody else. You know, we're all in the same together. Oh yeah.
We're all in the paranormal community. That's why it's called a community.
Yeah.
When it all
It's
goes
the
wrong,
experts that seem to make it bad. Well, you know what, Wild Bill? And this is going to sound crude, so those people that don't want to listen, please cover your ears. I am an expert of sitting quiet in the dark, and then bodily functions seem to happen. And normally you can do them quietly and just, be a bit discreet. But when I'm out investigating, that seems to go out the window. It's like Nellie's trumpeting for her life, when you're sitting there, they're going, be quiet, Viv, we're doing EVPs. I'm sorry, I have to leave the room. Yeah, so I'm an expert on that. I blame Dan.
But yeah, I mean, we've only ever had it once where we were out on investigation, and this lad was full of baked beans, and we couldn't do our live streams for serious because all night he was, yeah. I mean, I think we cut the short bit, we cut the live because we just couldn't take it serious. It really was a funny night,
Yeah, you get those noises, when you gurgle. Your insides are gurgling. You're not trumpeting, you're gurgling.
Yeah.
And they look at you as if that you can control what your insides are doing, like that kind of noise.
Yeah.
It's so quiet. You can hear a pin drop, and then you hear people's, stomachs going, and you think, oh, bless them, But other people seem to get upset and really angry.
Yeah.
It's like, it's natural. Anyway, Terry says he's selective. He gives people a chance, and if it doesn't work out, he won't work with them again.
I think that's good in some respects, but the only downside to that sort of thing is you can't control people when they go on an investigation. So if you booked on, say, a location where it's a paid for invest, you get, and I mean, we've had it in the past where you've worked with someone and you go to an invest thinking they're not going to be there and you're going to do it on your own, and then they sort of leech to you and follow you around on the invest. So it's that sort of thing, because once they've worked with you once, they know how you work. So they seem to follow you around. I don't know if you've had that before. But yeah, it's a good...
I find if you have public investigations and these people, they want to be with you, use your equipment, follow you around, you don't get to investigate it. You're sort of babysitting.
Yeah.
And whereas if you go with other teams that sort of know what they're doing, and I don't know, let's say I come out with you guys one day and me and Paul might decide to go off and just do some EVP sessions or some experiments away from everybody else, or I might take one of the girls from your team, let's do it, and so I think that's quite nice. But I think it depends on who's going, what sort of people are, what do they expect when they go on an investigation.
It's like the girls in our team. I mean, when they joined with us, I mean, on the first event, we showed them what we do, and if obviously we asked them if they was comfortable enough, and then they said they was. So we invited them back for a second time, and said to them, "Look, there's our equipment. We'll follow your lead now to see how you deal with the pressure, to see if you can, Good. And to be honest with you, I mean, then once they've done it, it's never just been mine and Jay's decision. It's been a team decision. Are you happy to work with this person? Do you feel comfortable with this person? And if the team have agreed, we've all agreed and said, yeah, we're happy, then we welcome that person on board, because we know that we've found a good, the balance there, and we know that we're going to, future investigations, we're going to be all good together, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a couple of, ex-members who've not been good for the team, but, we don't want to really talk about them. But it's you learn from experience.
Yes.
I mean, you learn. I mean, it's like me and Jay, we work hard together in the background. And, we've said to the girls in our team, look, you've all got a responsibility in the team, and you've all got your voices. It's not just me and Jay. We are a collective of people together who, we're not just one, we're five. Yeah. So every one of us have a say. You know,
Yeah.
all of us have got admin to our pages, so nothing's held back. You know what I mean? So we try and make the girls feel as much responsibility as we've got. You know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying? Even
nice.
though
That's nice.
we've been doing a bit longer than the girls, we still say, well, look, you're part of us. We're not just 2, we're 5.
And they're lovely girls. And do you know what? Can we give them a big shout out? Do you want to say their names? Let's give them a big shout out because they
yeah,
should
go on,
be.
Della, you do the honours.
God, why me? Is it
You've got a posher voice than me.
Kelly, Beth, and I can't remember the other one.
Marie
Kelly, was it
Marie,
Kelly, Marie,
and Beth.
and Beth.
and Beth. Woo! Big shout out to the girls. They're lovely girls. I met them back at Christmas when we had lovely
Yeah.
fish and chips together, and we just had a laugh. And
I mean, obviously, Beth's my daughter, and then for many years she was watching what I was doing, being my big follower, like my number one fan, and she said, "Can I come on an investigation with you?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" Unfortunately, the first one was East Drive, what a place to take her, what I mean?
Throw her in the deep end.
Yeah, definitely. But she handled it. She did handle it well, though. I've got to admit, she really did handle it well. I mean, it's like now we've started giving her the confidence now to call out and asking questions and being a team player. And like I said, I've always said to the girls, don't follow my footsteps. Don't follow what I do. Do your own thing. Feel comfortable with yourself, because everybody's got their own style of ghost hunting. You learn your own ways. And
that's definitely.
We've said we'll always give them a bit of advice if they need it, but we wouldn't tell them what to do, because it's the only way you can learn is by self-teaching yourself.
You know what? They are brave girls, because they were one of the first to put their hands in Dan's horrible Secret Santa bag, and they didn't know what to expect. So but all kudos to them 3 girls. Lovely, all of them. Right, we got some more things come up in the chat. So, while Bill says, Paul, that's why I don't claim any teams. I go by invitation, because he's an ordained minister as well. You see, like, I should imagine people want him.
Yeah.
In demand, so he's ordained.
Well,
to
if
do
you know yourself, for many years, I was never part of a team. I just chose to go as an independent, do my own thing, choose where I wanted to go, because, like I said, I was with a team many, many years ago, and there was too much childish behaviour, and I couldn't deal with it, because I just couldn't concentrate on what I wanted to achieve. So I walked away and just, like I said, did my own thing, picked where I wanted to go, and for many years it worked, because I was comfortable, I was happy, and it's like, when 2 years ago when I joined the collectives, I did say to them, look, guys, I've been down this road before. I'm hoping this time it's going to be, for real, like, sort of thing, because I can't be dealing with any, immaturity, like, and something, this is the best move I've ever done. It really is, because we've got a solid crew, basically. We really have.
Family.
Yeah.
Jay, where did the name Collective come from? Because that's a really cool name. The Collective. Where did you think of that?
That was me. That was obviously West Midlands paranormal, because we're from the West Midlands, and then the Collective. I thought that was a good thing, because then you're not saying that you're a team. You're a group of people with a common goal.
Yeah.
So you're a collective of people that are doing the same thing, in other words. So
that's really cool.
Because you know what? As soon as you because I always find, as soon as you put a team, the name team, you always get a hierarchy of, I'm the big cheese, I'm the founder, I'm this, I'm that. At least it's a collective. You're all on the same borderline. So you're all the founder. So everybody can do everybody's job. So there's not one decision is made by the single most person. It's all out there for everyone. So that was my idea around collective, so that everybody had a voice with them.
Well done. I like that. You watch, people are going to copy you now.
That's right.
Paul says, egos don't ruin anything, it's the knobheads.
Yeah. There is a few out there that I know as well, Paul, trust me.
There is quite a few.
Beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart.
I tend to keep away from beans while I go on investigation.
Eric says he likes the mix of serious and goofy. It makes more fun and cool. Eric, you're just stuck on that Dan doing his meat. What did he call it? Tony Stackwell. That's what that is.
But that is a valid point. There's a time to have a laugh and there's a time to be serious, especially within the paranormal.
Yeah. Rab C. Nesbitt Fulton's in the house. Hello, Rab.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to kill me. If I ever meet this guy, I think he's going to give me a slap, you know.
He's on the list.
For some reason, I have a habit of making members laugh, but it helps out in the investigations. Yeah, it's exactly what you were saying. And Little J is in the chat. He's saying hello to everybody.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Little J. Jay, if you're still there, can you just look at this Jay? He's a better looking version of you.
Team, there's no iron team. There isn't, and this Warbill's got a good point. There is no iron team. It's why we don't use the name team in our collective, because we're all the same within the paranormal, within people that you look for UFO, with the people that look for Bigfoot. They're all in it for a common goal.
Yeah, definitely agree. Kelly says thank you.
Hiya, Kel.
That's your Kelly, isn't it?
It is.
Hi, girls. Terry says hi.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Matt.
Hiya, Matt.
Is that one of your team members, Matt? I don't know.
Yeah, he's coming to East Drive.
Yeah, he's coming on East Drive with us.
The Borg is a collective.
Yeah.
The Cyborg. Is that a Doctor Who thing? I don't know.
Yes, James and Paul. Hello again.
Hi, Sarah. Hope you're well.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
She's from Barry Island, you know, Sarah is. That's where they filmed.
It can't happen, mate. It can't get any bigger than it already is.
Oh, you leave James alone. You leave him alone.
Yeah, from the Northwest Midlands. Yeah, that's good. Maybe if you're into the paranormal, could do something.
Doesn't matter what you do. There's always one troublemaker.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, his name's Dan Winter. He's not here, so we can say that.
I agree with that, but she said it first.
Oh, Star Trek. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the Borg, yeah.
All I know is that. Live long and prosper.
I can't even do that.
I can't do that.
No, that's not in my It's not in my remit of things. I all want to collect to. He loves it. So, I've got a question for you. I know it's out of the norm. Right. So, as a collective and as a group, when we go out investigating, and you probably know from experience, if we go out and there's other teams in the investigation, we always offer the team any investigational evidence we find as they're there. We like to share it with them.
Yeah.
So we'll give them the opportunity to have our evidence, and all we say is that you tag us in it.
Yeah.
Is that something that you do, or is that not really something that we should be doing?
Well, I've had some over the years. I'm not. This is not being egotistical. Paul Rook's in the chat, and he will back me up here. We've had some absolutely mind-blowing, super-duper fantastic evidence that other people have plagiarised and taken that and called it their own.
Yeah.
Which did piss me off a little bit at first, because they didn't even credit me with that, even though I'm all over it. And that's what annoys me. It's like when they take even the experiment that I did and said it was theirs. Never mind about the results we got. Yeah. It was just the way it's done, and made it big to try and use that to get onto TV, which really upset me. and I made sure that that didn't happen. But I think as well, what might be a good thing is if you could watermark it, share it with them, watermark it, because that way they have to give you the credit for it.
Yeah.
It's made me over the years not wanting to put anything up on social media, or, if I know the person, like Paul, I know Paul, I've known him donkeys, right? So Paul will be different, and I know that I could trust people. There are people that you can trust and there are people that you can't. So I think sometimes you just have to get a little bit wise to it. You'll get a feeling for it. And Paul will tell you, Paul knows, you know what I'm talking about. You get a feeling for it, don't you, Paul?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I think sharing it, if you could share it, that's a good thing to do. But I've become a little bit cynical over the years, especially if they're private investigations. That will never go on social media, ever.
Yeah.
Unless
Well, it's a bit down to respect, isn't it, really, for the privacy of wherever, like, you know what I mean? You're not going to, put something online if it's somebody's home or, it's something like that, like, you know what I mean? You're going to keep that purely to yourself. Because it's like I said, I mean, you get to someone's property, you've got to treat that with respect and think they've got to live there. So, the last thing you're going to do is start advertising or publishing people's places. It just, it's not good.
And even on your ghost hunts that you do as a team together, sometimes you can't tell people that you're going there or you're doing this, because then you get the silly playground stuff. Oh, why wasn't I invited? Oh, you went there and you didn't ask me. And show them after the fact. So.
Well, we had a funny incident last month. We were at an investigation and we were running an Alice box, and we were doing our investigation and we were doing a live stream. And there was a guy who had asked if he could come on an investigation with us, and we said no, because obviously we'd worked with this guy previous. So, people are jumping onto our live stream and we were like, saying hello to everybody, and I was asking questions, and this guy come on and said, "How you doing, guys?" And I've mentioned this guy's name, not, without mentioning the specific name, and I said, "Oh, hello, blah, blah, blah." And the next thing you know, the Alice boss come up, "Idiot." And I was behind the camera, so I had to walk away from the camera, leave it kind of rolling, and I was literally in stitches, because I was thinking, how would that have been so possible for that to happen, And even Jay, to walk behind the camera, we had a really good giggle about it, because the timing was just, it was classic. It was so classic. I don't think that would ever happen again, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So Terry says, when they claim your evidence as theirs is so wrong, never give out private ones. Yeah, no, Wild Build, I take pride in that I don't lie, and I'm not a baker, and I don't sugarcoat anything, nothing. Always be careful on what and how you ask me something. That's what we love Wild Bill for. Always speaks his mind. It's brilliant. It's down to trust and respect. Again, after a little while, you know who you can trust, and you know who gets your respect as well. So the key words is respect and trust. Yeah, everyone's saying that. I have no truth, shut off valve in my brain. So if someone asks me why, I tell them, and I don't care if they don't like the truth or not. Yeah, no, it's true. You should be telling them. If they ask you and you tell them and they don't like it, tough.
Oh, yeah. The one for that is saying about the shut off valve is it gets me into trouble sometimes. I like to evaluate every bit of evidence I get before you know what it's like as an investigator. You go out there and get evidence before you put it in the public domain. You scrutinise the hell out of it, don't you? So at every angle possible, and I won't mention where it came from, but someone put a post on, and I think within the first 10 minutes, I'd already messaged them and says, "Oh, I know exactly what that is. It's not paranormal," and they get the backup on it. They don't say, "Oh, okay, I'll re-review the evidence to see like the minute before and the minute after to see if they get the backup." No, it's definitely paranormal. Wow. If I've scrutinised in 10 minutes, what's someone online going to do? You know what I mean? Because you always get them have-a-go heroes online So I'd rather scrutinise someone offline and just send them a message saying,
Yeah,
"This
that's
is
a
my
nice
finding."
way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, because as soon as you put it in the public domain, everyone's on the case. Then everyone picks up on that and goes, "Oh, actually, yeah, it does look like that."
Yeah.
You're made out to be the bad one.
Exactly. Cliff says, I once asked a team to turn off a spirit talker, which they did. Then a voice came through speaker, "Don't interfere with us, Clifford." That's brilliant.
That's good.
Yeah.
But that's good. I mean, it's stuff like that. I mean, that unless you get it on recording, that's good personal experience. I think everybody's had a really good personal experience, especially with a spirit box.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I had my most terrifying. I've been attacked, seriously. I
Yeah, I
thought that
know.
was bad, but I've had my most terrifying experience to date. We had cameras rolling. The cameras didn't pick it up. Well, not very well. Not that I could get because of the lighting. And I was with one other that experienced the same, who was terrified too, but held it better than me. So yeah, even sometimes with cameras rolling, it doesn't make any difference. It's just you'd have to keep one camera pointed on the reactions.
Yeah.
Oh dear, it's quite funny. But anyway, the reactions always say everything. They tell you a lot, like Paul's reaction, your reaction when
Yeah.
stuff goes on. I've seen some of the lives. It's been absolutely hilarious. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So Wild says, I was not put on this rock to gain friends, but to teach and get others to search, and I find out our answers to their questions. Brilliant. That is
So,
brilliant.
yeah.
And that's what you guys are doing as well. You're teaching and helping in your own little way. You don't realise.
Yeah.
Terry says, it doesn't matter what you get, someone will always rubbish it. There's always one, isn't there?
There is, and I think the thing is you find it in the community as well, and I've seen it more so over the last 12 months. Someone will put up something, and someone will say, "Oh, that's such and such or such and such," but there's no. And I'm going to start doing it because you got to do from yourself before you try to tell others.
Yeah.
Where there's not a trying to debunk your situation.
Yeah.
So you'll see, and I see a lot of them, especially on YouTube Shorts, and you'll see like an apparition one, but I won't tell you the first minute and the minute after it, or the circumstances that happened, and they don't show you if they did the process they went through at the time to try and debunk it. Because I don't know about you, but if I see a light, I'm going towards it. You know what I mean? Just to see
Yeah,
where.
light's fine. It's only when it's dark and it's
Yeah, that's what
nasty.
I'm saying. So if you
Go the other direction.
yeah, if you're on a location, it's really dark, and you suddenly see a light pop out from nowhere. I want to know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So this is what we're going to start doing. So I think.
So while Bill said that's something quite poignant, so Paul, he says he's still waiting on people to prove him wrong on his ideas. Have your ideas over the years? Have your ideas proven to be right or wrong? For you, have you proved your own ideas, and are you imparting your knowledge now onto others' ideas?
Still, every time I go out and I still find something new, I question it because it's like I've said, I've seen a lot of personal stuff over the years, like yourself and most of us. And, you do tend to question, am I seeing things? Am I imagining this? Because, it just doesn't seem normal. But then you think to yourself, well, hold on, I'll put myself in this position where I'm in this place where it's got paranormal activity. So then, no, like I said, everything I do, I enjoy the next one and the next one and the next one, and I just take it, as it comes. I mean, it's like I've said, nothing else stalk me anymore, really. I mean, people ask me, well, what do you do for hobbies? Oh, I go chasing ghosts, sort of thing. They look at me like I'm thinking sort of a weirdo, like, what I'm saying? But, I mean, I've done it for so long, and I enjoy what I do because...
So here's a question for you, and be honest, right? Be totally honest. I know if you're lying. Have has, in all the years you've been doing it, Paul and Jay, has anything absolutely terrified you that you've had to leave or go from? Because
Yes. I'm going to say yes, it has.
are you willing to talk about it, or you don't want to talk about it? You don't have to.
Vague memories. I was in a place within the Midlands. I mean, I weren't even with Jay at the time. I was
Don't
with
mention it.
a previous group, and I was in this property, and he got 3 floors. I went to get to the 3rd floor, and I literally, something just grabbed me and threw me back down the stairs. And
Whoa!
that, well, I didn't stop there very long after that, to be honest here, because when that activity happens, you know very well someone's going to get seriously hurt.
Did you get hurt?
My ego got hurt. I'll be honest with you. I came away from the place knowing that I hadn't achieved what I wanted to achieve, but at the end of the day, I had to put my health and safety first, and other people as well. I had to think about other people's safety because, you know, you can go into a place with the most confident investigator, yeah, but when you've got things like dark things like that happening, you just can't, unless you're prepared to, you know, and go well equipped. There's nothing, you know, nothing you can do really. I mean, it's like I said, I mean, this place it's still standing. I've never been back. I'd like to go back, but
Face your nemesis. Take Wild Bill with you. He's a man of the cloth.
I mean, it was like when, I mean, I was at East Drive and we were doing a seance, and I volunteered to go in the middle of the circle and do what I did, and I felt like something was taking over me. I really felt my stomach was churning, my head was throbbing, I was seeing dark, just complete darkness. But when I came out of it and I sat down, I mean, I had 2 thoughts. I could walk away from this situation and let it get to me, but I ended up having a cup of coffee and a fag, and I thought, stuff you, I'm going to go back and face this because I'm not going to show my fear. At the end of the day, I'm here as, you know, like anybody else, and it ended up being a really good night's investigation. But you can have 10, 20 years of experience. It doesn't make any difference. If something wants to get older, they will do.
They will, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter how much confidence you have. And like I said, you know, it's going to happen.
Have you been scared yet, Jay?
I have, yes. And this I will give you a laugh at my expense.
Okay, we like these.
Right, so doing an investigation, being in a thing like a spiritual sort of way, no. I've always been instilled that don't run from it, so I don't. But I was in Shepton Mallet, and I've got this on video. If I can clip the video, I'll send it you just so you can have a laugh. Have you been to Shepton Mallet?
I have, yeah.
Have you been to the piece where you can walk in, you crawl into the hole and you can look down the cells?
Yes, yes.
I was going in there and the guy was like, go in there and have a look down the cells. So I had my torch in my hand, it's pitch black. And I'm looking down the cells and I thought, all good. As I turned around, you've got that rumming hand coming out the bars. And
yeah, yeah.
I jumped out of my skin. I couldn't get out of there quick enough.
Did you scream?
I didn't know, but there was a lot of effing and blowing in there.
Sorry, men screaming like a girl. I think it's hilarious. The funniest thing ever is when you see them screaming and running away.
I just don't want to be in there. I was like, no, forget that, I'm out. It was just literally, I was talking about if an apparition shows itself now, I'm in a compromised position. And I turned around and shone my light in this arm out of nowhere.
Oh, I do apologise. Let me just mute that immediately.
Yeah, so that was my thing. So you can have a laugh at that one.
Oh, that's my sick note. Hang on. Dan, I'll call you back. I'm on air. I'll speak to you in a bit. He's gone. He's enjoying his night out. He's had a night out with the missus tonight, so that's been lovely. I couldn't begrudge him that. So, right, while Bill says the truth is out there.
Well, it is, yeah. It's out there.
Definitely.
Terry, at the end of the day, I'm in this field for myself and work with friends. That's really nice, Terry.
It's the best way. It's the best way.
Terry's still searching. I learn something new every day. When I stop learning, I just go ahead and bury me. Just go, oh, bless him. I do love that man. Terrified me, spiders and cockroaches. Yes. On investigations, you find yourself in these places where they don't tell you about the cave spiders on the wall that actually
Yeah.
jump. And they're huge.
That happened to me when we was up the Aniston funeral parlour, if you remember. There
Yeah.
was me, Pete and Michael, and we were upstairs, and me and Pete were crapping ourselves because there were that many bleeding spiders upstairs in them stables, and they weren't exactly little ones. They were like, you know, enough to sort of want to eat you, sort of thing, like, you know what I mean? And
Massive.
you know, it makes you laugh because you go in these most darkest places at night time, knowing they're going to be lurking, waiting for you to come, like, you know what I'm saying? No, me and spiders don't go, honestly.
Do you think that's where a lot of these scratches come from? Because the spiders actually do fall on you. You feel it. So you just like...
I don't know. I wouldn't like to think about it, to be honest with you, because it makes me there, still on the back of my head to think.
There.
No.
No. So, better spiders after I got Morticia. Better with spiders after I got Morticia. Oh, so he bought a spider, called it Morticia, and then he got a little bit better with them.
No.
Gotcha.
The face your fear sort of.
Yeah. I've been on a location where everything was off the chain, and when I walked in with my dog collar, everything stops. Yeah, man of the cloth goes in with his dog collar. Spirits just flee, don't they?
Yeah.
So I go and look at it this way. God disowned me and the devil won't have me. Why be afraid? God disowned me and the devil won't have me. Never thought of it that way before. I see. I love spiders and bugs, so nothing creepy bothers me. You haven't been out with Dan yet. Oh my God, he sets you on edge. Seriously. I'll be dreaming of spiders tonight now. Sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry. Just make them cute ones, fluffy ones with a nice cute face on it that speaks like a human. You'll be with lipstick on its lips, so you'll be all right. Hi, I think I joined at the wrong moment. Spiders. Hi, Naomi. I hope you're well. We are all looking forward to going back to the village church farm in December. We're going to do it a yearly get together. It was brilliant, and we got you to thank for that. So
Yeah.
we love Naomi. Hort Forsted Live, those horrible spiders all over the walls. Yes. Fort Horsted, brilliant place. Mine is a tarantula. You can keep your tarantula.
Yeah.
So, can people contact you if they have any issues or problems? Will you go into people's houses and help them, or even?
It all depends on the situation. We haven't done it yet, but if it was a decision that we'd have to make as a group,
As a collective, yeah.
If there's young children in the property and it's getting to a point where the kids can't sleep there no more, the activity, we'll go there and try our best to help. Or if we can't help, we'll try and find them the help that they need.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than you go into a public home and you go in there promising in the world and you can't deliver. So if we'll go there, find out what entity or what form it's taken, and then offer them a way or give them a way that you can move it on from their home if they need to. Because I'm not trained in exorcism or removing spirits from our house.
No.
But
would you do all that free of charge? Would you just go and assist? Because that's quite important. Because like Bill, he's a man of the cloth, and he does it all free of charge. He helps with issues, and if you can't do it, you might know someone who can or can help.
I mean, we don't charge for paranormal investigations. If someone wants us to go there and potentially help them, because like I say, we're a bunch of friends and everybody's a friend until such time as they're not. Because the friends, they come and go, but your true friends will stay with you the rest of your life.
Exactly.
I'll help everybody because I've got not a bad word to say about anybody. And if someone needs help, I will try my utmost to help them.
Yeah. And I know Paul does too as well. Paul's he's got a big heart. So
to be honest with you, I mean, to be honest, like I said, I mean, I've been on this journey a long time, but for some reason, I really have bonded really well with Jay because I've worked with a lot of people over the years, but it's like we don't just talk paranormal now. We've become really good friends behind the scenes as well.
Yeah.
You know, and we speak on a daily basis because, like I said, I mean, you know, we've getting to know each other's families, and that's what I'm saying. Friends are hard to come by, especially good friends.
Yeah. It's like Dan. I try to get rid of him all the time. He keeps coming back like a bad smell. He's like a brother, you know. It's funny, like over the years, you know, how you bond with people and you know you can trust. I mean, he's a silly arse. You've seen the way he behaves. You've seen it for yourselves. But you know, that's one person that I trust my life with. Even though he is a bit of a clown, I 100% trust my life with him. I know when it comes to it, he can put his head down and investigate and get the job done, and then walk out afterwards. You know, so it comes with years of experience, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if they wanted to contact you, can I tell them to contact the page and then I'll message
by all means,
Paul? Because I mean, I know Paul personally anyway, so I can always sort of send him the messages and he can decide, I want it or no, that person's a crackpot, get rid of him, Viv. Okay, Paul. So, Clifford said something. He says, to fight the devil, you need to learn about him. How do you know it's a him? I have researched demonology, and one night something tugged on my quilt. Oh, my God. I sat up and looked down. There were 4 dark-looking imps. I called out for God to protect me, and they went. How do you know they went away?
Yeah.
Oh, that's questions for Bill. Bill is the one. If you like demons, be sure to get with Zach. He finds them everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, if you that comment, then this is what I find with a lot of the paranormal. You seem to get once you've got into that. We say to Zach, we use Zach as a thing because he's been said a few times. I've never met the bloke. I don't really watch him on TV because I'm not into that. But once you've done something over and over, you seem to get known for doing it. So he finds demons and stuff like that. And I know you've got to do a lot to boost your ratings for TV. But like if you go on live and you do a lot for Spirit Box, you get known just for doing that. So it's trying to get the stigma out, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know what? I think it's entertainment. Love him or hate him, it's just entertainment. I always said maybe he is the demon.
That's it. Yeah. Maybe he's the one bringing it with. Maybe the demon's connected to it. That's why he keeps it. Maybe he sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah. Well, Bill says he studied demons during his training. So it's interesting though, isn't it? If you don't understand something as well, I think, and paranormal investigators are guilty of this. If they don't understand something, it's easier to label it paranormal or it's a demon.
Yeah.
And that's their answer to it. Oh yeah, that's paranormal, rather than trying to find out the real answers.
Well, that's it. It's all about the research. I think a lot of people, they lose the way, and I've seen a lot of teams do it where they go to. I try not to, and I tell the collective and a lot of people I work with, if you're going to go to a location, because I see it. Someone did a comment not long ago saying, "Would you take someone who's lost their love on a ghost hunt?"
Yes.
Ghost hunt, I think that with that in mind, it ties on to this, which is I see a lot of people and they find that they don't like the paranormal and then they lose their way. Instead of admitting it, they just carry on.
Yeah.
Or you find the opposite spectrum. They just want to do the paranormal investigating. They don't want to know about the history behind it. So the evidence then becomes irrelevant. So they're just there. And I mean, you get a lot of people, and I've seen a lot coming through now that use paranormal investigating just to get out to meet people.
Yes.
If they can spare that money, and I know investigating is quite a lot of money, especially when you're doing paid investigations, because it does hit you hard. that I think you've got to have some kind of love within that.
I think as well, people don't realise when we lose a loved one, you have an element of grieving to do. And some people will grieve easier than others. Doesn't mean that it's not as hurtful and as bad. They just seem to be able to deal with things a little bit better. Some people want that communication and they go looking for it everywhere, and get disappointed when it doesn't come. It becomes an obsession. But if someone said to me, like with myself, I'll use myself as an example. My brother passed away, and I think the following week I was out investigating, and I was in a position though where my brother was a paranormal investigator himself, and he wouldn't have wanted me to not go out investigating just because he passed away.
That sort of begs the point, doesn't it? With a lot of investigators, you get a lot.
Well, I mean, I had this happen to me years ago. I was on an investigation. The guy made it public. We were doing science and some certain experiments, so we did tell the public if anybody gets any experience or gets spooked, to meet at a certain point in this building. And there was a young girl. She just bust out crying, decided to do a runner. So I said to the team, like, I'll go and find out what's going on with this girl. So this girl was like in this bar area. I went up to her and she was sobbing her heart out, and I was everything okay? She goes, I've just seen my dad. I says, all right, I'll gather, he's deceased. I'm sorry to hear that. I say, how long? She said, I buried him yesterday.
Oh.
And I had to send this girl home. I couldn't let her go any further through the night.
To me, that's lovely because it's confirmation for her.
But I just felt that she was too open and her emotions were too high, and I couldn't let her go on any further. I said, look, I'll respect, but I can't really let you carry on because of obviously what was going on in the property. I didn't want this girl getting hurt any more than she had done. And, like I said, I mean, some people do tend to give answers or try and communicate with loved ones, but I tend to think sometimes that's the wrong place to do this because, it's not right. I mean, you've got other people who or other things who want to communicate with, whatever's there, but loved ones, I just don't believe it's, doing investigation is the right place for people to go and look for that.
So you've got that from what you guys are saying, and it is true for everybody, which is you don't just wake up one day and say I'm going to be a paranormal investigator. If you can turn around to yourself and say you're not looking for something or someone, I don't think that you're really in the investigational you're in that investigational service. Because myself, I know that I love investigating, but I'm searching for something, and I know that 99% of the people that do investigating, they're there for their own personal gain. Of they want to have that one conversation with someone, or know that someone's where they should be, or that they've moved on. And
not me. My father's disappeared now because, like I said,
what do you want now?
I mean, we were on investigation a couple of weeks back, and I never had nothing come through, so that was a blessing. Like, we were in where was we? Jay, in Portsmouth, were we, or something like that?
Yeah.
And like I said, we had a really good active night, but there was no attachments regarding family or friends, so that was a bit of a decent one. Like,
quite cool, that, yeah. So we got some stuff in the chat now. So there we go. I'll just have to scroll up a little bit. So where are we? I think I've lost the plot here. Okay, so Bill says no time frame, it's up to them. I think that's when the loved ones come through. Eric says you probably scared them away by yelling. I think he's replying to Cliff's thing about the imps at the bottom of his bed. Eric Warbill says I've studied demons during my training. You have to remember with Zach, no ratings, no show ratings, no money. That's true. Sarah says, thanks, Bill. Before my dad passed, he he sighed to my mum. He said to my mum, there were 2 people stood at the end of his hospital bed. Do you believe that spirit loved ones come to help those with death? What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are they're the perfect people to help you, aren't they?
Yes.
So they're your family. They're the people that you're closely bonded with. So in spirit, maybe they are. Maybe you get mediums and they've got their spirit guides. Maybe the spirit guides are family. You want to do one? So what?
You know the thing with the bucket?
Yeah, I'll sort it in a minute. Leave it alone.
Yeah, the part that the bucket's standing on, squish it.
Yeah, I'll sort it in a minute. Yeah, so I think that so when you do pass, I think that they should be the ones at the end to hold your hand to bring you towards the light, or at least guide you to where you need
trust
to
them, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's nice. So Wilds Bill says, all the TV shows, I tell people to watch them as entertainment. I watch them to see what new equipment is out. Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
I can tell you, yes, without even being religious, that he's talking about referring to Zach being the devil.
Yeah.
I was just being facetious. On a spirit box, devil and demon always comes out. I say, prove it.
Yeah.
Good response. I'm going to use that, Terry. I'm going to think of you when I'm using it.
Yeah.
I am. I will stick with the tried and true equipment that I already have.
Yeah.
That's why what I said earlier, it all depends on the person if they should go out or not. Yeah, exactly. My grandmother started me on my adventure with paranormal and cryptids. Oh, don't get me started on cryptids. I love a nice hairy man. Bigfoot, that is, I'm talking about. I'm obsessed with Bigfoot.
I think it all leads on to everything, doesn't it? I mean,
It does,
you get
yeah.
a lot of, like we've had this conversation before, I think, where you've got a lot of the exploring side now turning to the paranormal side, and then you've got that vague space in the middle, that you're not too sure which way you're going to go. But yeah, I mean, everything's a stepping stone onto knowledge.
Yes.
You're always stepping, like every day. You wake up, you go outside, you open the door, you step your foot into the unknown.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
anything could happen.
Definitely. So, Annette saying, so, and I apologise if I'm jumping because I'm losing the thread here. They do my partner before he passed said, I've been expecting you, and then he was gone. He had not spoken for 3 days. Oh, wow. It's nice to know that, you know, you are being looked after even when you do cross over into that other dimension or wherever it is that we're going, you know, so. Yeah, sure, Viv, we know you just like hairy men. Hairy men. Keep you warm at night when you're cold. Ask your missus. Rita and all about it. Terry says what they say about the size of the feet, Viv. Oh, can you imagine it? Keep it clean.
Well, they say about obviously your family waiting for you. There's many theories about what exactly happens when you do pass on. You see a lot of people with the same theory.
Oh, we just got big kisses and cuddles for Wild Bill.
Thank you,
love you lots. Take care, Wild Bill. Mind how you go.
See you later.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Man.
So my train of thought is this: everyone's got a theory about what's after this life.
Yeah.
There are some theories which I sort of tend to agree with, but not. Which is everybody seems to see this in vision of a light. So I don't know, and this is what many people look to prove, whether that light is the light at the end of the tunnel where you're being reborn as a new person, where your soul's left your body and it goes into another entity, and you're then a baby, then to reborn, go through your life, which is why then you get deja vu.
Yeah.
And you're crying because you're mourning the death of your old body, but you also can't remember anything. So there's many theories, and my view on the many theories is everybody's theory is right until it's proven wrong. Because until that final moment where it happens to you don't truly know what goes on.
Yeah.
So what what is the end for one person might not be
Well,
the end for somebody else.
I did speak to somebody that had a not past life, that actually died and came back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know
And
exactly
they've
the same person. He told me exactly the same story.
been gone for 15 minutes. I have a
Yeah.
photo of him here. I'll show you the photo of him. He'd been gone for 15 minutes.
God
Oh,
bless him.
excuse me.
God bless him.
Yeah, God rest his soul. But he did tell me the story of what he saw. But he did come back, and he lived a fair few years after that. It might be different now that he's actually crossed into the other side of things. And, you know, wherever he is, I hope he finds peace. And if he does want to come
Yeah.
back for a chat, well, you know where I am. You know, that's
Yeah.
what I say. Yeah, I think the experiences, especially with, you know, when they cross over but come back, people have different experiences each time. Some people go through the tunnel, don't get to the end and get told to come back. He just saw pitch black.
Yeah.
He didn't see
Yeah.
anything. And he'd been gone 15 minutes. I said, you didn't see
Yeah.
nothing? He went, no, I didn't see anything.
Well, it's,
So,
everybody's experience at the time
yeah,
is completely different. I mean, my dad's got a hole in his heart, and bless him, he sort of went for a while at home. They brought him back, but he said that it was the most calming experience he's ever had in his life. He said he thought
oh,
it was scary.
wow. Yeah.
The only reason he came back, he said, is because his dad passed away like 8 years prior. He said he came to him and touched him on the shoulder and said that it's not his time
Yeah.
and to come
Yeah,
back.
that's quite a common denominator. Like Norman did tell me that he heard his sister's voice, and he felt a small hand go into his and say, "Come with me," and she just brought him back. But he'd been wandering around in the dark for 15 minutes on his own.
Yeah.
That story's just hilarious. We'll have to tell you one day. We won't bore you with it now. But Paul knows; he'll tell you
Yeah.
what happened. It's so funny. It is so funny. Right, so we're coming to the end of the show now. We've been on an hour and a half. Do you know that?
Doesn't feel
Okay.
You know, time's
Oh,
flying
God.
because we
Yeah.
ain't got Dogman Dan here. So yeah, he's useless, isn't he? We will get together, Paul, with Dan, and we'll get
Definitely.
something arranged. But yeah, so if anyone does want to get in contact with the West Midlands Collective, message the Simply Spooky page. And if you're rubbish, we'll tell you. Or get Dan to tell you. That would be hilarious. But no, it's been really, really good talking to you guys. It's like talking to mates. You know, I'm quite lucky here. Will you come back on again when Dan's here? We can all take the mickey out of him together.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
Because he
Yeah.
deserves it. He deserves it. So we are back next Tuesday with the second part of Fakers in the Paranormal on the Things Network. And it will get heated because I think next week we are going down the spiritual side of things. So if you want to get a little bit heated under the collar and vent, you're more than welcome to come and join us. We might even post the link so you can come on air and vent with us. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. There's no right and there's no wrong, but we won't condone bullying. So we just keep it on a level playing field. And then next Wednesday, we're not sure who's coming on next Wednesday. I might even interview Dan. I might do.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll
Yeah.
see, because he'll bring one of his many personas into the chat, and who knows where that will go down. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Tomorrow night on Simply Spooky, there is no Beyond the Grave and Back Again. But on Friday, please join in on the Frighteners, where I believe there's a great birthday celebration happening for Nick Muley. Who knows what's going to happen? So yes, if you can join in tomorrow night, I believe that starts at, not tomorrow night, Friday night. It starts at 9:30. Just check the page for details. I'm sure Lois will put them up there for you all.
Brilliant.
But in the meantime, enjoy your ghost hunts, lads.
Thank you very
We
much.
want to hear all about what you've been doing and what you've been up to. So please, please, please come back again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
And thank you to everybody in the chat. We've enjoyed you and your thoughts and your input as well. It's been valuable to us tonight. So
Yeah,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much for that. and we will hopefully see you all soon.
Definitely.
Paul, because I've known you and you're the oldest, I'm decided, I'm going to leave you with the last words.
Well, thank you very much for, inviting us onto your show. And thank you for everybody's input and obviously the comments. It's been absolutely wonderful, to know that there's a lot of people out there who share our same passion. And hopefully, one day we're going to sort of team up with, a lot of the new teams to, do the same thing. Well, thank you very much.
Take care, everyone.